Hi friends, so last Christmas I invited my whole family to a trip to the Hannover Zoo. Because, and here's the thing about me, I am not good with presents. I'm always unsure what to actually get for the person and then procrastinate until the very last minute. And last Christmas I was running particularly late. But I remembered reading an article about a study that suggested that people who tend to buy experiences with excess money are, on average, happier than people who tend to buy stuff. So I decided that I wanted to have an experience with my entire extended family. And I also remembered that the last time I was in the zoo was like 10 or so years ago, but also with a big part of my family, and it was awesome. So on Christmas Eve, which in Germany is the day we exchange presents, I just told them that I have ordered tickets for the zoo for all of us and that they hadn't arrived in time, and that was the reason why there was nothing under the Christmas tree. I hadn't actually ordered them, but anyway. To my relief, everybody loved the idea, and so we immediately planned a date for the visit in late April. And then, a few weeks later, we heard that Obama was visiting Hannover on that exact weekend. So we had to reschedule. Thanks, Obama. But actually, thanks, Obama, because that week in late April the weather was really shitty. Anyway, last Saturday was a go, and after the day started with a scare of an early morning rain shower, the day turned out to be perfect. The weather was amazing, sunny but not too hot, which was really important for the seniors. So we packed 3 different cars and drove to Hannover to meet with even more members of my family. In total we were 16 people in 4 generations, from my 4-year-old nephew up to my 80-year-old grandfather. So yeah, I really like zoos, and especially the Hannover Zoo, mostly because it's closest to my hometown. Sure, the very idea of taking wild animals and putting them in enclosures just for people to look at is all kinds of problematic. But as far as I can see, zoos are acutely aware of this. The Hannover Zoo has made considerable effort to grow and expand its enclosures over the past few years, and at the same time limit the numbers of animals to a reasonable amount. They even go as far as to apologize with signs for slightly older part of the zoo. And yeah, I still remember when I was like 5 or so and the porcupine enclosure was just a sunken hole of concrete. But it has changed so much. The entire zoo is in a constant state of change, with enclosures being renovated and brought up to the newest standards all the time. And the love for details in the scenery, both for the visitors and the animals, is amazing. For example, the Yukon Bay, which is the home for all Arctic and Antarctic animals, is one of the most recent additions, and they put an entire ship in there. Look at those penguins waddle around the deck. It's Madagascar brought to life. It's amazing. Also, in the biggest show there, which is loosely performed around the feeding of the seals, they actually have a very, very strong environmental message, and are trying to emphasize that bald eagle and the seals are still wild even though they are trained. Anyway, as far as our group goes, we anticipated to be walking around in smaller groups because, yeah, a 4-year-old is just way more fast-paced than his great-grandparents. So we just planned to meet in the afternoon for some cake and coffee at a restaurant in the zoo, but it was really nice to see how often we still found each other again and walked alongside for a while, or at least took the safari boat ride together. And as I have already stressed in previous videos, my family is just the best. It is always a pleasure to hang out with any of them, and so was walking around the zoo, looking at animals doing their thing. And also seeing my nephew be absolutely excited about absolutely everything is pretty great. In conclusion, I can only say that, yeah, this was one of the most expensive Christmas gifts I've ever given, but it was also worth every cent of it. So that was what I said to my grandmother after the visit, that this trip was, after all, mostly a present for myself.